Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. Today we're looking at a product that you've probably not heard of or seen, but definitely a great one, and that is LockScreen Prediction System LPS by Amir Mughal. This is a great little prediction system that uses your phone and the apps you already own to make a really cool effect on your lock screen. So let's learn more about it after the intro. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about LPS. Now, what is LPS? In its simplest form, it's the ability to have something predicted on a picture on your lock screen, on a picture that looks something like this. I'll have it in one of the corners of the screen just to show you what kind of picture you're gonna have on your lock screen. So it's gonna show up there. Now, I can't really perform this for you because my phone is what I'm using for the actual filming of this video, but I can nonetheless tell you how this would play out. So you would have your phone on the table face down. You would approach your spectator and you will tell them, you know, last night I had a dream that I traveled to a certain place that I've always wanted to go visit and I haven't yet. And what I did is when I woke up, I took a piece of paper and I wrote down that place and I took a picture of it just to remember this day and the dream that I had. And maybe, you know, it's a sign that in the future, I'm gonna get to go there. So can I try something with you? Do you have your phone on you? They would say yes. You say to them, can you just open it up? Can you go on your Safari? They open up and you say, okay, perfect. So what I'm gonna have you do is, sorry, do you have Google Chrome? You know what? I'll just go on Google myself. You go on the Google and then you say, perfect. So what I want you to do is I want you to search the place here on Google that you think I want to go through, that I want to go to. So truly try and analyze me, look at me, and try and guess what place that would be. So then the spectator would look it up. So let's say they say, I don't know, Kentucky. Let's say that's my dream place, Kentucky. Because I can't think of anything else right now that just popped into my head. But let's say they say Kentucky. And then you tell them to show their friends or show people there, or if you're performing one-on-one, just to look at the images and look at one image that they really think would speak to me. They look at it and they study it and then tell them, perfect, just close your Google, close your phone and look at me. So you could have thought of any place in this world that I would have wanted to travel, correct? They would say yes. And tell them, I took that picture. You remember I told you I took the picture of where I would want to go. And I actually put it as my lock screen today because I felt that today I was going to meet someone that is going to get it head on what that place is. You then lift your phone, you open your lock screen, and on your lock screen is a picture of you or whatever you want where it says Kentucky on a piece of paper, on a business card, on a billet, on a blackboard, wherever you want, it's going to say the place that they've searched. Now that is what this effect does if you perform it with Inject. Now we're going to talk about this in a few moments, how you can perform this with different apps, but that would be a performance with Inject, but it has different applications depending on the apps that you use. So before we get into that, let's talk about where do you purchase this, how much does it cost, and what do you get? To purchase this, you have to contact Amir directly, either through his email or through his Facebook page. I'll put the link of those down below, so it's easy for you to contact him if you want to purchase this. Regarding the price of this, it's twofold. If you want to perform this with just one app, so if you want to be able to do your prediction system only with Inject because that's the only app you own or the only app that's of an interest to you to do with this system, then it's going to cost you $35 US to perform it only with Inject. However, let's say you're someone that owns a lot of magic apps and you own WikiTest, with Pro Tools, you own Inject, you own Cognito, you own Cypher Pro, you own Rayman Pro. If you own basically 2 or more apps, then it's going to set you back $45. So for $10 more, you get access to basically all the apps that you can use with this project. And those apps are Inject, WikiTest with Pro Tools, that's important to mention, Cognito, Rainman Pro, Ellipse, and Cypher Pro. Maybe As we move on, there's going to be new apps added, but for now, these are some of the apps that you can use with this prediction system. So if you own some of them, you can do this effect. And also, as well, I want to kind of mention that this is only doable on iPhones. So I'm sorry for the Android owners and my viewers, but this is only doable on iPhones. So you can only do this on iPhones, and there's no model restriction for this. So as long as it's an iPhone that you can put a background on and you have the Shortcuts app on that phone, you'll be able to perform this. So there's no restriction as to the phone, the model that you're using of an iPhone, but there is restrictions that you cannot use Android. So I do want to mention that as well. And now that I've mentioned all of that, what do you get with your purchase? You're going to get an instruction manual sent to you by email by Amir himself, in which you're going to have some YouTube links that you can click on that's going to help you set up certain things for certain effects. Because you may have been thinking that the routine that I did here with my phone, that I kind of performed to you, I never touch my phone. And that is true. My phone is just face down on the table from the start, and I never have to touch it. I literally just pick it up and show my lock screen. Or hell, even the spectator can pick it up and click to see your lock screen. So you never touch the phone. So you have that. Or for some routines, you do have to touch your phone. Let's say you're doing cognito, you're gonna have to touch your phone, depending on the swipe methods that you do, etc. I have a review for cognito previously, but nonetheless, you don't have to touch your phone. And that's one thing I wanna mention, just as a parenthesis. But nonetheless, you get your instructional video to some of the routines, how to set them up. And you also get how to perform them in the PDF. And on top of that, you get your respective links that you need to install on your phone in order to perform this effect. Amir is going to send them to you directly by correspondence through email. So that's what you get. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's get into the actual meat of the review. So first of all, difficulty. What is the difficulty of this? And the difficulty of this depends on the app that you're using, because as I mentioned, this is an extra tool for apps that you already use. So if you're using Inject, the difficulty of the effect depends on the routine that you do in Inject and how familiar you are with Inject. If you want to do this with Cypher Pro, basically super easy, because Cypher Pro is an easy app to use. So it's super easy to use it with Cypher Pro because it depends on that app. And I think you get the idea. I don't have to go through every app. Same for Wikitest, same for Cognito, etc. The difficulty of this depends on the app that you use, because your phone does everything it needs to do automatically without you having to do much or to even touch it during actual performance, right? So difficulty-wise, not that difficult. You don't have to hide anything, you don't have to while they're doing something to type something on your phone or activate something or be fishy. Literally, you don't do anything. All the difficulty of this depends on the other external app that you use, okay? So that is what I have to say about difficulty. Now, what about practicality? Is this practical? Yes, because all you need is your phone. You always carry around your phone with you, so you can do this effect. However, for a lot of the other apps, you do need internet connection sometimes. So depending on the app, you will need internet connection to do this effect. But this one, like the lock screen prediction itself, doesn't necessarily or doesn't at all need a Wi-Fi or an internet connection to be able to work. Okay, so keep that in mind. It doesn't need itself, but other apps will require it. Hence, this will require it as well. So again, the prediction system depends on the apps and their requirements. And some of them do need internet, so you will need to keep that in mind. But except for that, practicality-wise, you just need your phone and an internet connection for most of the effects that you're going to perform. Okay? So having said that, let's get into where do you perform this. So where do you perform this? So honestly, this could be performed anywhere, since it's just using your phone and the spectator's phone. You can do this anywhere. Some of the effects like Cognito use your own phone, so you only need your phone. But if you want to do something like Inject, you're gonna need a spectator with a phone as well. Now, the spectator's phone doesn't have to be an iPhone. It can be an Android, it can be thoroughly any phone. So nonetheless, where to perform this is pretty much anywhere you want. You can do this casual, bar, restaurant, clubs, street, table hopping, weddings. You can even maybe do this in parlor if you want, strolling, cocktail party, wherever you want to perform this, you can basically perform this. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the positives and negatives of LPS. Let's start with the negatives. What are the negatives of LPS? This is mostly already everyone watching here is an iPhone user, so I can't really say that the fact it's only for iPhone is a negative, because, if you have an iPhone, it's not a negative for you. But probably if I were to mention one negative, it's probably just the fact you may need internet for certain apps and that you do need other apps to perform this. So if you buy LPS and you don't own any of the other apps, you just bought the effect for nothing, because you won't be able to do anything with it, almost basically. So it is important that you have other apps with this. And it's very important, again, I want to mention, if you have Wikitest and you want to buy this because you love Wikitest and you want to have the Wikitest prediction on your lock screen, you do need Pro Tools. So keep in mind that for certain apps like Wikitest, you will need Pro Tools to be able to perform LPS. Okay, so that's the only kind of negative that I can find regarding LPS, because apart from that, it's fantastic. Let's get into the positives. The positives are the picture on your lock screen is legitimate and it looks absolutely great. You can, even if you want to be extra safe, even when you pick up your phone, you can make, the spectator's not going to know the direction you're going into. So as you lift your phone, you can maybe just casually glance, indirectly just show your background, so they kind of maybe see it, so that when they see it again later on, they know that it hasn't changed or been tampered with. So that's a great thing, is that your lock screen is a legitimate lock screen. It's not an app, it's not a software, it's your legitimate iPhone lock screen. It's a legitimate lock screen, which is absolutely great. So it's a legitimate lock screen, which is a major positive. Second, it can be performed with various effects, which is also great. Is because, for example, LPS with Cognito works incredibly. To be honest with you, I haven't been performing Cognito as much, but now that you do it with a prediction beforehand, it kind of heightens Cognito, right? It kind of heightens Cognito a bit more than it actually was. Because now not only will you mind read the spectator, you will have predicted in advance what they choose among your camera roll. Think of that. Think of how it elevates that app. And similar for other apps, it elevates the app a bit more. Think of Inject as well. If you're doing Inject, you could definitely do the mind reading stunt, but then you tell them, you know what's interesting? This morning I woke up and I wrote something on a paper and placed it and took a photo of it and placed it on my lock screen. And you wouldn't imagine what it is. Take a look. And it's the exact same thing that they search. This is incredible that it elevates certain apps that are already extremely good to a new level. And that is absolutely great, in my opinion. And I'm just thinking of something right now. You could literally use this as a peak. You could actually use this as an incredible peak to the routines that you're doing. I just thought of this. I'll have to look through the manual again, but you can actually use this instead of revealing the information. You could just lift your phone and maybe look at the time, or maybe mistake that you're opening your phone, that you're just flipping it over so your lock screen opens, and you could peek the information. I just thought of that. I don't know if that's part of the actual thing, but I'll have to look on it. But I just thought of that. See how good this app is? It literally got me thinking of things that I haven't previously thought of. But you could definitely use it like that as well, which is honestly great. I'm gonna definitely try that out and keep you posted if you ask me something in the comments. But that's another positive. And again, it's super easy to do and it's very accessible and you can do it anywhere. So a lot of positives for LPS. So would I recommend LPS? Yes, I think that even if you don't own some of those apps, maybe LPS is gonna make you buy some of them. And that is honestly great because I didn't own Inject before LPS. I had Cognito, I was doing it with Cognito, and I just had so much fun, and it was so good. And the reactions that I got this past weekend were so good with it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy Inject so I can do this with Inject because I really love the way this effect works and what it does. And it also has really positive receptions on the forums everywhere. Go check it out for yourself. It really, really is a good effect. So would I recommend LPS? Definitely. If you own those apps, you do those apps, this is only gonna heighten the performance. And the customization of it is also great. I forgot to mention that, but the picture that you have on your lock screen is not a stock image. It is literally you. So you can do it however you want. Like, I know there's someone in the community which is like on a table like this thinking and has like a black, a chalkboard behind him, and the answer is written on the chalkboard behind him. Someone else has like, he's writing something in his book and he has like a tarot card, and next to his tarot card is a slip of paper and the information appears there. So that's definitely another positive I just wanted to mention because I forgot it. But nonetheless, I do heavily recommend LPS. If you own any of these apps and you own an iPhone, I think you will not go wrong with this. So what would I rate it out of 10? I would honestly give it a 9.5 on 10. It is an absolutely great effect. It works well. It has a great community, a small community around it, hopefully one that's going to grow. And Amir is really involved with this. He's constantly updating it, and he's helping the community out all the time. So this is definitely a great effect, and I definitely recommend that you check it out and even purchase it for yourself. It is thoroughly great. 9.5 on 10. Now that is all I have to say about LPS. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. Comments, like, subscribe, all of that. Thank you if you do it. Even if you don't, thank you so much for watching. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you in my next batch of reviews coming next week. Thank you so much. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and stay safe. Bye-bye.